So the other day I'm here sitting at my desk thinking there's a lot of people that are dropshipping in the US. So what can I do to set myself apart, or where can I go? So that got me thinking a little bit more, and a little light bulb went off in my head, and I came to the realization that I'm missing out on a lot of money because I'm only concentrating on this one country. So let's expand. And that's when I thought about dropshipping in the UK. Now, the first thing that we need to answer when it comes to how to start dropshipping in the UK is going to be, is it legal? Because I know certain business practices are not legal in certain places, like specifically reselling. But dropshipping, pretty much reselling products that we can get directly from the suppliers, yeah, it is 100% legal to do in the UK. So we don't have to worry about the legality of it. But there are a few other things in the whole legal aspect that we do need to think about when we're dropshipping in the UK. And the first thing is going to be our taxes. Now, for the most part, dropshipping in the UK is going to be fairly similar to dropshipping anywhere else or dropshipping in the United States. But let's go ahead and start with this, because this is one of the biggest things that really sets it apart: the taxes that we're going to have to pay. I highly suggest you talk to an accountant that specializes in the UK, or even one from the UK. Ask them a couple questions about the legality of it and exactly what you need to do and what you need to report. We are going to have to think about registering our business with the UK. So if you live in the UK and you're dropshipping in the UK, then yes, more than likely you are going to have to go ahead and register your business as an official business. But what if you're living outside of the UK and you're trying to dropship into it? On average, to just get started, you can go ahead and open up your store, get started selling, and then when things get really serious and you really start making some money, then that's when you really should go to an accountant to just make sure that everything is the way that it should be on your end. You don't want to land in any legal trouble, whether it be in the country that you're living in or the country that you're dropshipping in this case, the UK. Another thing that you're going to have to talk to an accountant about when it comes to this is going to be your taxes and your VAT, or your value added tax. And another one to keep in mind is going to be your customs duty. So you might be paying a certain price to have products imported into the US. Right now, things are a little bit crazy because of the entire thing with tariffs and everything. But right now, anything that's under $800, you can go ahead and import duty-free because of the minimus exception. Now, if this applies to other countries like the UK, this is something that you are going to have to look into local laws about. So keep that in mind. That might be the first thing that you do want to look into, though, simply because this is going to determine whether or not you're going to have to pay a little bit extra to have products imported to the UK. Now, one thing I will say right now is that when it comes to your value added tax or your VAT taxes and when you're registering your company, this isn't something you're going to necessarily need to be reporting on immediately. This is something that happens after you reach about £85,000. Again, I suggest that you talk to an accountant, but on average, this is how it's pretty much been. And that's £85,000 in a year, by the way. Now, that also is if you're living in the UK and dropshipping in the UK. If you're not, if you're dropshipping into the UK from another country, like the US, then you are going to have to register for your VAT when you first ship your first product to the country. So always just keep that in mind. There wouldn't be a minimum like the 85,000 in this case. All right, before we do go ahead and continue, as always, I'm going to have an easy to reference cheat sheet for you with everything I'm talking about in today's video laid out for you in a way that's easy for you to follow and reference. So if you want access to that, just drop a comment down below with the hashtag UK dropshipping. And let me know what your takeaway is from this video. When I see that you went ahead and did that, I'll reply back with a link to the sheet. All right, let's go ahead and continue. So with that out of the way, there's another thing that we need to talk about when it comes to the legalities of dropshipping in the UK. And that's going to be how clear you are about your products and your descriptions and what you're selling to your customers. So they're pretty strict over there about what you're offering your customers. They're pretty much telling you, hey, you can't be misleading people at all. Otherwise, your store could get shut down. You could land in some legal trouble. So because of this, we really need to make sure that our descriptions and our titles are accurate to what we're selling. We can't be misleading people. We can't be clickbaiting people, because besides being unethical, that also is illegal. So we don't want to deceive our customers, because again, on top of being unethical and illegal, it makes our company look untrustworthy. And when our company is untrustworthy, people aren't going to recommend us, and people aren't going to be coming back to purchase a second time. And on top of that, if we're implementing these bad business practices into our business, then chances are our customers, when they receive their products, they're going to do a chargeback. They're going to go ahead and say, hey, this isn't what it is. Give me my money back. And in that case, you're the one that's going to be losing money and customers, and it's going to be hurting your reputation. So as always, be straightforward with your customers. Tell them exactly what they're getting, exactly what the product is, and don't over exaggerate features. Now, another thing to keep in mind is going to be the returns and the refunds. So when it comes to returns and refunds, the UK actually requires you to pretty much give your customers a 14-day grace period. So when your customers get their product, you're going to be required to give them 14 days to be able to return it. No ifs, ands, or buts. So if they want to return it, they can do so. So this is going to play into our suppliers. So we want to make sure that when we choose our suppliers, we choose a supplier that is trustworthy and accepts returns or refunds or some sort of exchange. Because if they don't, then in that case, we're going to be the one that's taking the hit. We're going to be taking the return. And really, at that point, we're going to be losing money. We're going to be getting a product that we're probably not going to be using, and we're going to be refunding our customers while at the same time still paying our supplier for that product. All right, so now that all of that legal mumbo jumbo that we need to know about is out of the way, let's get to the fun part. So is it actually profitable to dropship in the UK? And the answer to this is an outstanding yes. So to start, back in 2023, dropshippers in the UK averaged to make about $17 billion. That was industry-wide over there. Now, by 2030, it's actually projected to hit $78 billion. That's an insane markup. So there's nowhere to go but up when you're dropshipping there. There's a lot of potential because it is a pretty untapped market. So if you're not selling there now, I highly suggest that you start considering it and start opening up a Shopify store, an eBay store, or anything where you can start selling over there. Start dipping your toes in the water and see if it works out for you. Unlike the US, the UK is pretty untapped and undersaturated when it comes to dropshippers. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people dropshipping over there, but it's not as saturated as the US is. The US is the biggest market, so everyone wants to have a piece of it. But when they're doing this, they're not taking into consideration a bunch of other countries that have a huge market as well. Think about it. You have an entire country that you can offer your products to. Even if it's not as big as the US, it's still an entire country that you have the potential to reach. So there's a lot, not even a lot, there's a massive amount of sales that you're missing out on. Now, another cool thing is that unlike the US, there's a lot of manufacturers over there that actually provide you with products at some decently cheap prices. So yeah, in the US, you can source a lot of products at some pretty good prices, but a lot of the times when things are manufactured here, they're a little bit more expensive. In the UK, you are going to be paying a little bit more in terms of the products that you're sourcing directly from there, but it's not going to be as big of a market as it is here. So you are going to have a bit more potential for profits. So how do we get started actually dropshipping in the UK? Now, the first thing that we're going to have to do is choose where we want to sell. Now, there's a few options that you can go from here. So you can, for one, go with Shopify, you can go with Wix, or you can go with WooCommerce. All three of these allow you to create your own website that you can fully customize and really offer anything that you want. You have entire creative control with these. But then you also have selling platforms. Platforms such as Amazon, eBay, Etsy, and Facebook Marketplace. Oh, also TikTok Shop. Now, in these places, you don't have as much control as you do with your own website in terms of your creativity and what you can do with the website. But they have a huge advantage that your own website does not have. And that's going to be organic traffic, free organic traffic. When you start your own website, you're going to have to create your traffic. You're going to have to go out there, create content, create videos, promote your products, and run ads. Yes, you are going to have a higher profit margin, but you're going to have to spend a little bit more money and a little bit more time marketing your products. Now, when you're dropshipping on an e-commerce platform like, let's say, eBay or Etsy, in this case, people are going to these websites ready to make a purchase. Whenever somebody goes to Etsy, they already have something in mind in terms of what they want to purchase. Same thing goes for Amazon and eBay. So these are two things that you can really keep in mind and think either, do I want to focus on marketing or do I want to focus on just trying to bring in customers? Personally, my preference is always on e-commerce platforms. I absolutely love Etsy and eBay, but Shopify works pretty well. And especially now with things like AI and pre-built Shopify stores, specifically like the pre-built Shopify stores from AutoDS, the ones that AutoDS offers, they are completely pre-made for you. And they actually have a premium theme that's valued at over $250. So you already have right off the bat a working and converting website. So you don't have to spend any time actually bringing your website up out from the ground. You can start to focus on your product research and promoting your products. Now, speaking about product research, that's another thing that we need to do. We need to figure out what products we're going to sell and what niche we're going to sell in. So a couple questions here. One, what do you like? What niche are you into? What do you know about? Because this is a niche that you would want to start with. Yeah, you can go ahead and start off with pretty much any niche, but if you don't know anything about it, then chances are you might be looking at products that really people aren't going to have much use in. You might think that it's a great product that it could solve certain issues, but if you don't know anything about that niche, then chances are customers that are actually interested in that, they might be looking at that product and thinking, I've seen this before, I have tons of them. So that's why I always suggest going with a niche that you know something about, because that way you can actually look at a product and think, all right, this can be useful because it can help with this. Like, let's say for me, I love the pets niche. And one of the things that I look at a lot is pet toys. Toys specifically for big chewers, like big dogs, like pit bulls, because I have a pit bull. And whenever I buy him a toy, he destroys it, like literally within a day. So little by little, I started to figure out what products or what toys don't break that easily. And then I started offering some of these in my dropshipping stores. I started making videos of my dog playing with them and showing how durable they are. And with that, started coming on a few sales because there's a lot of people that have that same pain point. They have a pit bull or they have a big dog that really, really likes to chew and destroy their toys. So they're looking for things that are durable. So check this out. I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how you can perform some really efficient product research using Google Lens and TikTok. Now there's tons of other ways that you can go ahead and do your product research, but this has to be my favorite way. So I like going to TikTok, and then under the search function, I look for hashtag TikTok made me buy it, and then I'll put in my niche. So let's say pets. Now, what comes up is all of these different videos with people trying to promote different types of pet products. If I take out pets, then I'm just going to have a bunch of random products. But because I added that extra keyword in there, I'm getting things in my specific niche. Now, let's say I find something that's pretty cool that I want to look for a supplier for. Let's say this right here. This looks like a pretty cool water fountain, right? All right, so that video's not working. Let's look for another one. All right, so this one right here, this is another water fountain. So here you see the cat drinking the water. Has some pretty good views. Wow, 204,000 likes. Now, what I want to do is I want to wait till I get a clear picture of the water fountain. So let's see if we can get one. Let's see if we can scroll through. It doesn't look like they have a picture of just it, but maybe right here, right at the intro, right there. So here what we can do is we can use Google Lens. Now we can right click over here on the side, go to search with Google Lens, and then look up right there. All we have to do is select our product, and then we're going to have this little sidebar open up with the same exact product that we just saw. So we're essentially backtracing a video. You can do this with pictures, but everyone knows that you can do that, or at least most people know that you can do that. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Just right click on an image, search with Google Lens, and then you'll see this. But a lot of people didn't know that you can actually do this now with videos. So this is a very, very useful tool now. So here on the side, we can see all of the different people that sell it, what they're selling it at, and we can find suppliers. So on Amazon, you can see it's running for about 80 bucks. But if we look down, if we scroll through, we can find all of these other listings, but I want to look for AliExpress. So up here, I'm going to type in AliExpress. And now we're combining searching for text along with searching for the image itself. So if we scroll down, we have right here, the very first option. You can go ahead and click on this. We can visit it. And here it is. So it's selling for about 37 bucks. The regular price is supposed to be 103, but that's usually not the case. So here we can find it for $37. We saw that it was selling on Amazon for about 80, so we can sell it for just about double the price. But if you do see here that this price is a little bit too much, just go ahead and scroll down, and then we can find more variations and other options for pretty similar products down here under the related items. So right now what I just showed you was one of my favorite ways to do product research, but now what we need to do is learn how we can import these products to our store and find a good supplier. So let's do both at the same time. Now, the supplier that I just showed you was AliExpress, but you can find tons of other suppliers that you can work with. AliExpress is just one of them. You have AliExpress, you have eBay, you can source from Amazon, DHgate. There's tons of suppliers that you can choose from. And there's also private suppliers that give you a lot of extra benefits. Check this out. Through the AutoDS marketplace, you can go ahead and sign up right now for just $1 for the next 2 weeks, and you get access to all these features that I'm about to show you. So you can go ahead and check out the marketplace where you have all of these different trending products. But what I want to show you is the supplier section. So if we click on here, we can find all of the different suppliers that we can source from directly and the AutoDS suppliers. The AutoDS suppliers are exclusive suppliers that work with AutoDS and are thoroughly vetted to ensure quality and shipping speeds. Now, besides that, you also get a couple of extra bonuses. So for one, you could look at ones that say this right here, customizable branding. So this adds a little extra flair or a little bit of an extra personal touch to your products or to your packages, because this gives you the ability to be able to upload your logo to your store. Meaning whenever somebody places an order for, let's say, this product in particular, this product will ship with a custom thank you card with your logo on it, and your logo will be printed also on the invoice. So that really does add a little bit of extra authenticity to your store. Now, all of these different products are sourced directly from our private suppliers, but if we check out the handpicked product section over here, this is also a little bit extra that you can use for your product research. So everything that's in the handpicked product section is legitimately just that. Products that are picked by hand by expert dropshippers, all with a specific criteria in mind. All of these products are proven to 1, be trending, 2, convert, and 3 are really just best sellers. So check it out. Scrolling through some of these, we can find, let's say this one over here, 75 cents for an egg poacher, as it looks to be. So this is perfect for poaching eggs, making perfectly poached eggs in the morning. And what does it do? Well, it adds the value to somebody's life. It gives them the value of being able to make poached eggs. Some people, they love to do it that way, and it makes it easy. So here we can see that if we click into the product page, we can see all these details for the product itself. We have all of the different high quality images, and we even have a profit analysis. So we can see here that we can source it for about $3.16 for shipping and about 79 cents for the actual item cost. And it's being sold for, on average, about $28.98. So with that being said, we can analyze our profits, and we can be making a pretty hefty profit off of just this one product. We could be making an easy 26 bucks off of this. Now, besides that, you have an engagement score and a saturation score. The saturation score is really just going to tell you how saturated the market is with this product. I don't like to see it as saturation really though. I like to see it more as a marketing difficulty scale, because in my opinion, if you're good at marketing, you can sell any product no matter who's selling it. So as long as you have your marketing down right, you can sell your products. Now, besides that, you have the engagement score, which is going to tell you how active this product is on social media. So how many people are interacting with the ads that are currently running with this product. Then you have your social ad section, which really shows you all of the different ads that are currently running with this product. And it can serve as a source of inspiration on how you can structure your ads as well. Now, let's say this product is one that we want to import to our store. Then all we have to do is simply click on import draft, and it'll be added to our draft section where we can make any further edits, where we can optimize the title, the description, the variants, our prices, and everything before having it go live on our store. I'll show you that in just a second, but let's take this one that we saw over at AliExpress, the cat water fountain, and let's import this one as well. So let's go ahead and cut the link or copy the link, run back to AutoDS, click on add products, single product, and put in the URL through there. We can go ahead and click on edit now, and it'll take us to that same draft section. As you saw, importing our product right now was literally just a few clicks. It took seconds to do. If we were to do this manually, it would take us maybe 5 to 15 minutes, depending on all of the information that we need to copy over. We need to copy over the title, the description, the variants, the images, and everything. So that starts to take up some time. Imagine having to do this for 20, 30 products in a day. You're going to be in front of your computer for quite some time. But this is the draft section that I was telling you about. So here you can go ahead and optimize your title. You can add it to any categories that you want. You can go ahead and set your pricing, and you can even optimize your title with AI directly through the screen. So that way you don't even have to think about a fancy title for this. AutoDS will do all of that hard work for you. Same thing goes for the description. We can go ahead and optimize our description with AI, or we can simply just edit it ourselves. Then we have our variants tab where we can go ahead and set our different variations. We can edit them, we can delete them, we can add any more. And if we click on edit, then we have our little pricing calculator. I love this pricing calculator because it really takes the guesswork out of everything. So this profit right here, $4.71, that's your take home profit, already excluding all of the fees. And again, that's one of the best things about this. So let's say I want to make a 50% profit. We can see that in order to make 50% profit with 13% fees, actually, let's drop that down to 8% fees. We're going to be making $22, which is going to be 50% profit, selling at $72.59. And again, these $22 is already excluding the 8% in fees. So this is how much we will be taking home. That's how much is going to be deposited into our account for this sale or for one of these sales. Now, besides that, you have the images tab where you can go ahead and add, edit, or delete any images. And once you're ready for this product to actually go live in your store, all you have to do is click on save and import, and it'll be sent directly to your store, ready for people to purchase within a few minutes. Now, just a few other things that I would recommend for you to keep in mind when you're looking for suppliers, if you're not going to be working with the AutoDS private suppliers, is going to be to, for one, check out the reviews. Make sure they have good reviews, not necessarily down the board, because every once in a while somebody's going to have a bad experience. Maybe the shipping got delayed or something like that, and people leave a bad review. If I see straight 5 stars down the board for like 1,000 reviews, that makes me kind of think something's going on. But if every once in a while I see a review for somebody that might be dissatisfied for whatever reason, it happens. People tend to leave reviews more often whenever they're dissatisfied. So it's okay to see bad reviews every once in a while. Just make sure that it's not, the majority. And also read the reviews. Make sure they're not just generic reviews of somebody saying, oh, this wallet is great, or my mom absolutely loved this product. No, look for reviews that are specific about the product you're selling, and even better if they have images. Besides that, like we said earlier, you need to make sure that you get a supplier that has a return policy or has a good return policy, and that overall just accepts returns and exchanges. When we're dropshipping in the UK, this is going to be a requirement. So again, make sure that your suppliers have a policy in place to accept these returns. Otherwise, you're going to be taking that return and you're going to be the one losing money. All right, so at this point, we pretty much have the majority of everything down already. We know that we need to choose a selling platform that's going to be for the UK. We know that we need to look for suppliers that are going to be UK friendly in terms of returns and, of course, dropship over there. We learned a little bit about product research and how to find trending products. And we learned how to import our products. The next thing we're going to need to learn to do is going to be to market our store. Now, when we're marketing our store, this is really going to depend on the platform that you're dropshipping on. So if you're selling on your own website, like Shopify, Wix, or WooCommerce, some of the most common ways are going to be ads. Ads are going to be your best friend, whether it be on TikTok or Facebook. This is going to be the easiest and quickest way to reach a broad audience. But there's also a free way of doing this, and that's going to be by making your own organic content. Making organic content is going to consist of making TikTok videos, making YouTube videos, writing up blog articles, all of which are going to be promoting your products in one way, shape, or form. One of the easiest ways that I can tell you how to do something like this is going to be to address a pain point, something that somebody is dealing with on a day-to-day, and then solve it using your product. This can be both for video content and for written content. But if you're dropshipping on, let's say, Etsy, eBay, or Amazon, or even Facebook Marketplace, then in this case, it's going to be a little bit different. You can go ahead and promote your products in a few different ways. Each platform is going to have its own specific way to market your products, but just always remember you're going to have to set a little bit of a budget in order to actually promote these products a little bit extra. Remember, it's not necessary when you're dropshipping one of these platforms. Typically, people go to those websites already ready to make a purchase. All right, after your marketing, you are going to start getting a few orders. So this is when you're going to have to start fulfilling these orders. And there's two ways to do this. The first one is going to be the manual way of doing it, which I've done for a bit, but it actually started causing me a few issues simply because every once in a while my finger slips and I put in the wrong address or I'll put in the wrong number. And in that case, the product goes to somebody completely different and I lost a sale, I lost the money, and then I have to either refund my original customer or send them another product. And that gets annoying because it's very frustrating. Now, this isn't always the case, but it does happen from time to time. We're all human, we all make mistakes. Now, besides that, it's also pretty time consuming. Fulfilling multiple orders in a day can really start to take up a lot of time, the same way your product importing does. And this is where your order fulfillment comes in automatically. So if you're using AutoDS, then you have the option to be able to fulfill your orders using Fulfilled by AutoDS. So in this case, what happens is whenever you receive an order, like any of the ones that I have over here, you will get a notification through AutoDS, and AutoDS will actually fulfill that for you. So in order to pay for it, it'll use a balance that you top up, like this one that I have over here. And the cool thing about using Fulfilled by AutoDS is that no matter what supplier you're using, your account is never going to be touched. So let's say you're using Amazon, right? Let's take Amazon because Amazon's not necessarily very dropshipper friendly. They don't like people taking their products and then sending them to multiple addresses. They're like, that's our job, not yours. So because of that, they could, actually no, not they could, they will suspend your account. So in order to mitigate any of this risk, Fulfilled by AutoDS actually uses its own Amazon buyer accounts. And the best part is that they're also Amazon Prime. So you will benefit from fast shipping. But of course, it's not limited to just Amazon. AutoDS will also be using its own buyer accounts for platforms like, let's say, AliExpress, DHgate, or any of the other suppliers that you choose to work with. So that way, none of your accounts are ever touched. Now, whenever you first get an order, it'll show this. So it'll actually start off as pending. And then if you have your auto orders turned on, meaning as soon as an order comes in, it'll automatically be placed. It'll be switched to ordered once it's ordered from your supplier. And then once your supplier provides a tracking number, it'll be marked as shipped. The same goes for delivered. Once the product has been delivered to your customer and tracking shows that it's delivered, it'll switch to delivered. If the order for whatever reason is canceled, or if you want to cancel it, you can click on canceled. And if your customer wants a return, you can do this manually. You're going to have to come over here, click on this over here, click on request return, and then within 24 hours, you'll have a return label in your inbox or even directly through here that you can download and send it to your customer so they can return the product. As you can see, AutoDS makes it very easy for you to fulfill your orders, pretty much error-free in just a few minutes. And even then, you don't have to do anything. It'll do everything for you. Now, last but not least, the last thing that I am going to leave you with when it comes to dropshipping in the UK and actually succeeding is going to be to, of course, always focus on your customer service, whether it be pre-sale or post-sale. The customer always comes first. And if they message you, if they send you a question about a product or about an order, again, pre or post sale, always make sure that you get back to them within 24 hours. You don't want to exceed 24 hours because that's when customers can start to get a little bit angsty. Either if it's pre-sale, they probably will go ask somebody else and then make their purchase somebody else. If it's post-sale, they might get a little bit frustrated that you haven't gotten back to them in time. And this also goes back to your suppliers. You want to make sure that you have suppliers that have good communication, because if your supplier has bad communication or if they take too long to get back to you, this is all going to add to you going back to your customers. If they have bad communication and something's lost in translation, then that can also go to your customers. You might give them the wrong information. If your supplier sends you a message 2 days later, then it's going to take you 2 days to see that message. And then it might even take you a little bit longer to reply back to your customer. So that's why I always say, look into your suppliers, send them a couple messages, send them a few emails, see how their communication is, and see if they actually get back to you in a timely manner. So that's pretty much everything that you need to know on how you can get started dropshipping in the UK. What did you think of today's video? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, huge thank you to everyone for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. If you found any value in this video, if you took anything away from it, please make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and with that, my name is Mario with AutoDS, and I'll catch you all next time.